start streaming, and let's check if we are live. Waiting for connection, and we are live. So today we are going to do some real authentication. So we read the user information from the database, and we will try to save new questions to the database too. So from the previous code, we have API and client here in our project. So the first thing I will do is to start both of them. So I will go to client and yarn start. Also in a new tab I will go to API, and here I will do nodemon index.js. So it's now listening on localhost 3030. Let's check it. Yes, test works. And here we have our client app, and here we have API app. This is express.js and this is reactjs front-end application, and this is our backend. So now we can log in. As I remember, it was example.com, and let's check what was the password. API index. No, it was test example.com, and the test was the password. Test. Okay, this doesn't work anymore. Let's see why. For free. Forbidden. And let's see, we get for free test example.com, test example.com, and here test. Yeah, now we are logged in. So the next thing would be to read those credentials from the database. So let's open new tab in our terminal, go to API, and let's add some packages that we will need. So we will use knex for database connection. We will use also mysql because knex needs mysql package, and we'll use also bcrypt to hash our passwords. So right, let's install those, and meanwhile we can do some small refactoring here. As you can see, there is a lot of here is our whole app, and it starts to get messy, also because we got those user endpoints here, and I will just move them somewhere else. So let's create new file in our API directory called user routes.js, and here we will place all our routes. So let's first import express from express, and now we need to initiate our router. So it will be, let's name it user router user routes equals express router, and here at the bottom we will do export default user routes, but maybe okay, let's have it named like this. And here we can copy all those API endpoints that are user related to user routes, but as you can see the app is not defined, so instead we'll use user routes here and here. So here we have our app and here we have our user routes. So let's go back to our app and let's import it. So we will use app.use, and here we need to import our user routes. Yeah, like this. As you can see, it has been automatically imported here. If it doesn't automatically import for you, you just need to add this part. And this JSON web token is not used anymore here in this file because we moved it to user routes. It has been imported here, so everything should works nice here. Let's try to remove the token cookie so we will not be logged in, and let's log in again. Test at example.com and test as a password. Log in, and it doesn't work. Let's see why. Do we have any errors here? No. Okay. And in our index.js we need to add .js here. And let's try again. Test at example.com. Test. Login. And we have 500 error. Let's see what happened. Cannot find module. User routes. Let's see in our index.js. Let's maybe restart our server. Let's try again. No, it doesn't work. Secret is not defined. Alright. So as you can see, we have secret here, but secret is not here and it's used. So we need to move it from our index.js to user routes.js. So let's add it here. Clear the console and let's try to log in again, and we are logged in. Nice. So after successful login, let's redirect us to the home page. So let's close this file and let's go to client and then source, and then this will be our login page. Okay, so here we have our login method. We check authorization, and after checking authorization, if it's successful, we want to redirect us to the home page. So let's go back to our app.js and see how does it look like. So this is our check authorization method, and we want to return a new promise here. Resolve reject, and let's put the code here, and after we are done setting the user, let's do resolve. Let's do resolve with the response data. So we have the user also returned in the promise, and here we do reject. And let's put it null here. So in our login page, we can now do then. So after the checkout is done, we can run some code, and here we will have our user information. So let's redirect our user to the home page. We don't need user information. Instead, we just need to redirect to the home page. And to do this, we need to use redirect from React router DOM. Let's see. Let's just quick Google redirect React router, just to be redirect, just to be sure how to redirect. Yeah, you just say redirect. So we have this redirect, and then let's add a state called redirect to home page. That will be equal to false. And here in our render, let's do if this state redirect to home page will be true-ish, then we will do redirect to home page. Then after successful authorization, we want to do this set state redirect to home page will be true. So let's again remove our token here, so we will not be logged in, and let's click login. Here test at example.com and test, and let's click login. Yeah, now we are at in the home page and we are logged in. Cool. So the next part will be, as we talked, to use the database for it. So I have removed the token, so we're not logged in. So let's open a new tab in our terminal, and let's log into our database. So it will be mysql user root. Password is also root. It's on my local machine. Now let's create database, and let's call it StackOverflow. StackOverflow, yes, and use StackOverflow. Yes, show tables. Yeah, nothing here for now. And now I will set up my database here, so it will be easier to create tables for me and edit them. So it will be MariaDB. StackOverflow. The name will be StackOverflow. It's localhost. Root is the user and root is the password. Let's test the connection. And it's fine. Alright, and the database will be StackOverflow. Let's just test it again. It works. Apply. Okay. So now we can create a new table. Schemas. I don't need this one. I need this one. Okay. Oh, I don't want this one. Alright, and in here let's create a new table and let's call it users, and in our users we will need column ID, that will be auto increment, not null, primary key and unique. Then we will have username, that will be also an email, and it will be varchar, I don't know, 255, that should be enough, and it will be also unique. And not null. The next thing we will need is password, and it will be, I don't know, I guess varchar 255 should works nice here. Yes, and let's change it to email, and that should work just fine. Let's create the database. Incorrect table definition. Alright, something is not okay. Maybe we need to remove those unique stuff. Yeah, now it works. So I can close this one. This is my old project, so never mind. And let's close this thing. And now let's add register a link here. So let's go to our header, and here we have our login link. So we need to put it in this because we'll have several elements here. And now let's add another link, register, So now we have login and register links. Let's put it inside the div. So now it's next to each other. So let's add some spacing between those two. Profiling. Let's add some padding. From top and the bottom will be 0, and from the sides it will be 20 pixels. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe a little less, 10. Yeah, that works nice. So now we need to fix the register page. And register page will be almost the same as the login page. So the first thing is that we need to do some small refactoring here. So we will put profiling. No, not here, in our login page. In our login page, we need to make a copy of it. New file. Let's see here. New file, register page.js. Let's put it here. And let's rename it to register page. We don't need this here. Register page. Register page. Yeah, looks nice. Register page. Okay, it works nice. So now we need to go to our app.js and add the route for this register page. So let's copy login and at /register we will use our register page. And again, this has been automatically imported here. So if it doesn't auto import for you, you need to add this part manually. So now it works. We can go to register and login. The pages look exactly the same, but no one cares for now. Register page. Let's first change the header to register like this, and here we have our password. So first let's add the autocomplete new password. Yeah, so it will not show those helpers for filling the forms. Yeah, instead it shows the input to helper to generate a new password. So now we have our register form, and we will remove this redirect to the home page thing from here, and from here. And here we have our login method that we call after clicking the login button. Let's rename this button to register, and let's rename this function to register. Here and here, register. So after someone clicks register button, we need to take the email and password and create a new account. So we will also remove this part to check the authorization. And instead, let's check this post. But first we'll post data not to login but to register. Then we need to handle this registration form in our backend. So let's go to API, add user routes. Here we can add a new route. So it will be user routes.post/register. And here we will be request and response. So when someone sends email password, we have it inside our request body. So let's do const email password equals request body, same as here. So after this, we want to check if the email doesn't exist in our users table first. So we need a database connection. We have our knex installed with yarn add, so now we can import it. So the knex is imported. Now let's create a database instance that will be const db equals knex, and in configuration let's add the details. Connection will be mysql, and then we need to add, let's see, knex, or how the configuration should look like. Readme file, and then there is client and connection. Okay, so this is client, and here we have connection. Host is localhost, user is root, and password is also root. Okay, so then we can go back here to our register endpoint and the database users. We need to count users with the same email, so let's select db row. No, let's do this like this, db select everything from users where email is email. So we can shorten this up to just this. Let's make this prettier. Then we have our users that we found here, and let's just do let's just send them for now. So it will be response JSON rows and send. And let's check it. Test at example.com. Test network. Register. Let's see the preview. Nothing is here. Do we have any errors? No. So I guess it works. Let's check OK. We don't get anything. Let's check now. This one failed. Do we have an error here? Yes. Secret is not defined. No, this is no error. And let's check this. Error, no database selected. Alright. So we forgot to select our database. Database. StackOverflow. Let's try again. Yes, it says OK. But now let's send the JSON instead and try to send the rows here. Yeah, it's empty because we couldn't find an user with this email. So we have rows here. That is an empty array, almost like. So we can do if rows length is 0, then we can register our user. So this will be db users insert and we'll put here email and password, but we don't want to store password that is not hashed, so we will import bcrypt from bcrypt, and here we will add const hashed password equals bcrypt and hash. And here we'll put password as the hash sync. And let's try to do it like this. This should work. And then we send response, send status to 1 as created. But if the user already exists, then we need to send another response. Response that 422, I guess. Yes, 422. Otherwise, response status 422 send. Email taken. Email already exists in our database. And here user created. Right, this should work. And let's try again. Register. Pending. Something is wrong here. I guess it fails in this then part. So we need to add a catch. If this fails, then we will send the error to the response status 422 send error. Let's try this again and see what error do we get. Okay, we don't get any information. Let's put it like this, and let's console log our error. Console log the error. Salt arguments required. Alright, let's go to yarn and check how this bcrypt works. Readme file, hash. Okay, here we have salt rounds. So let's put the salt rounds at 10. Alright, now it should work. Register, yes, 2-1, user created. And if we want to do this again, okay, it has been created again. That's not good. Let's check user stable. Okay, it has not been created. The table is empty. So here we create. Do we need to commit? For 22, and we don't get any information. Let's check here. No, we don't need any commit, but instead we just need to wait for it to save. So if it saves, then we want to send a response. Let's put it in a new row here, and if it fails, we need to catch the error. And with the error, we need to send a response that will have status 42 and send the body that is user creation failed. And let's console log the error. Let's clear this and let's register again. Okay, it worked. Let's try this again. It didn't work. Email already exists in the database. That means that we can open user again, and here we have our user with hashed password. Now we want to get this information from the database when we log in. So let's go to user routes, and in our login here. As you can see, for now we just check if the email is this and the password is this, then the login is okay and we can log in. Instead, we will use knex here and bcrypt compare function. So db select password. We want to get the password where email is email, like this first, because we need only first row. Then we have the user or only password, but we can check the password here. So first let's hash the password. So const hashed password will be bcrypt. No, we will not hash the password here. Instead we will use bcrypt compare. Sorry. So here we will move this isLoginOK function and the response part, but we will replace isLoginOK with bcrypt compare synchronously. The data will be our password and the hash will be our user password. So if login is not okay, for free low username or password mismatch, and if it's okay, then it's okay. Okay, let's test it. So let's go to our login page, test at example.com, test. Let's clear this, login. Okay, it's still pending, so we have missed something here. Yeah, we need to add the catch here because we got an error. So if something fails, then we send a response with status 42, and let's just send it with something went wrong, sorry, and let's console log the error. Let's try to log in again. Okay, unknown column password, SQL select password where email is this. Let's check this password. I don't know why, but let's try it again. Let's select all columns instead. No table used. Alright. We need to add from users. And here we can put password back because we need only password. Let's log in, and it worked. And those are just TypeScript hints, so you can so you don't need to read them. Yes, but this works. And the next thing is that we will let's create profile page. All right, so let's go to login page, see how it looks like. It is just a container with a header, and that's all. So let's create a new page called profile page.js, and let's create a function component in our profile page. Let's do function profile page return and export default profile page. And in our app.js, let's add it as a route. Let's also add it the header one. Header one will be profile. And now in our app, let's add the route path profile component will be profile page. Yeah. To add some padding, we will copy the container thing from here, and let's add this to our profile page. Here, let's do container, and let's put the header inside the container. Yeah, so now we have some padding. And the other thing we will need is the logout button. So let's add link, and it has been imported. Yes, nice. Link to logout. We need to delete the cookie. Alright, so let's do a link. It will not be a link. It will be a button that will send the post to our API. So let's import our blue button. And here we need to do here we'll put the function to logout, and we will do axios post logout. Then we need to redirect to the homepage. So use state. Let's see. No, it has not been imported, so we need to import it. Import use state from React. The default will be false, and here we'll have here we'll have redirect to the home page, and set redirect to the home page. Alright, after this is done, we can set redirect to the home page to true, and then here we can check if redirect to the home page is true. Then we can do redirect yes to the home page, and this logout function we need to put here. Logout, and let's put this button in our container. So this button doesn't do anything. The logout has 4.4 because we haven't registered this endpoint in our API. So let's go to our API and user routes. We need to create a new route. User routes post to logout, request response. Yeah, so let's see. When we log in, we send this cookie called token. So to log out, let's just reset this cookie. So yeah, this will be empty. And that's all. Let's check logout, and it doesn't work. Let's check it again. Logout doesn't work. We get 4.4. Alright, I think I know. In our profile page, on our, for example, login page, we need this full link because it's a different domain. So we need also on our profile page what will be /logout. Let's clear this. Logout. Yes. Okay. But we haven't refreshed the context, so we need to do this. So to do this, we need to use context. So let's import use context, and let's use this context. Use context user context, and we will import from this the checkoff function, and after someone logs out, we will check the authorization again, and after it's done, we will set this redirection. I will refresh. We will not be logged in, but we are. Let's check why. Okay, because we have this token. We should know, but let's try and log in. Let's in user routes value of the token, let's do it empty. Right, and now test at example.com test 1. This will not work. Yeah, we got for free. and this should work. Yeah, we are logged in. Now we are on profile page. If we click logout, then we have been logged out. But yeah, this doesn't matter. But we have not been logged out because we still have this token. Let's check user routes. So here, let's check remove. Let's Google this one. Express delete cookie on logout. Alright, I think I know now. We need to use this with credentials thing. So in our login page, we have this extra config with credentials to true, and we need to add this in our profile page. So when we post with credentials. Alright, so we are still logged in. Yes, let's go to our profile, logout. Now we are still logged in. So let's check this. No. Response clear cookie. Let's try this one on user routes. Response clear cookie token. No options. Let's try again. Go to profile, logout. No, we still have the cookie. Delete cookie on logout. Credential cookie. Response clear cookie and send status to 100. Send status to 100. Alright, let's try again. Logout. Didn't work. Nothing special here. Let's go back to login page, check if we forgot about something. No, that's all. And in our user routes, let's check the login endpoint. Response token, we sent the token and send body to OK. Let's check our index.js, our API, credentials to true. Okay, user routes. Response cookie token empty. Do we add any params here when we send the cookie? No. Right, let's check if we click logout. It says okay, but response headers, we don't get any. Yeah, here token should be empty. Alright, I think it's because no, we don't need to. Okay, let's put token 2 and see if we can set it. No, we cannot. Response cookie. And let's just copy this part. Let's just try to send a new cookie. Logout. Nothing new here. And I don't know why, but I will find out. Alright, so we can't send the cookies here. Let's try to remove this one. Let's log in. Test at example.com and test. We got the cookie here called token. Logout doesn't work. Okay, will it work if we go here? Now we are not logged in. Logout. Logout doesn't do anything because we got for free forbidden. Let's try logout. Okay, this is because we checked the authorization probably. So let's go to profile page. We don't need to check the authorization here. Yeah, that was the issue. Logout. Test at example.com. Test. Now we are logged in. Logout. Alright, this doesn't work. Okay, let's first try to send the token to a cookie. So if we click on this one, we want to get a new cookie called token2. Let's check the response. Response headers here. And I don't see any cookie stuff. profile, logout. Now I know. This is because in our profile page, in the logout function, we send this as a data. What we want is to send an empty data and send this part as config. So now if we go to profile, logout, then in application we get token 2. Oh, that was annoying bug. But in user routes we can clear cookie token. Let's check it in. Logout. Done. This token we can delete it manually. So now we are logged in, but we need to refresh the page to see it. So after someone successfully logged out, we need to check authorization as we did before, and then we want to do this part. So let's log in again. Test example.com and test password. Now we are logged in. Let's go to here. We are still logged in. Let's log out. We have lost the token here, but we have not been redirected to the home page. Alright, let's see why. It's because this method will not run then, because this one will fail. So we need to use catch here instead. It will be nice to have here on the profile page, if someone is logged in, we don't need this logout button. We have this user object here. So if a user is logged in, then we will show this button, but otherwise we will just put some information here. You are not logged in. Yeah. Now login method. So we need to here test at example.com and here test. Now we are logged in. We got the token. Logout. Now we are logged out. One thing that I need to check is in user routes in our login method we create, we use email to create a token, but we have a secret, so it's fine. This should work now. Alright, so let's log in. Oh no, let's register. I will use my personal email address and let's do David123. Register. It worked, but I don't get any feedback here, so let's fix it. Register page.js. So as you can see, after we register we don't do anything. Instead, after the registration, we should log in and go to the homepage. So to do this, first we need to return a token. So let's go to user routes, and here we have our register stuff. So as you can see, if someone registers, we send to one user created, but we want to also send a cookie, a token, const token will be empty for now, but we will get it from here. We will need to do JSON web token sign. So let's do this. JSON web token sign email secret, and then we have this function, and it has an error or a token. Error token, and if there's an error, we just for free. If error response, send status for free, else otherwise. We don't need this token because we have it here. Otherwise, we send this response. We send the token and user created. So now I can't register again because the user is already created. But it would be, let's check. Let's add 2 here and let's register. To 1 user created, and let's check response headers. We have the cookie here. So let's go to our register page. We have this with credentials to true, but after this we need to do something more. So we have the token set automatically. So the next thing is that we need to redirect to the home page. So in our state, let's add redirect to the home page. Sorry, to false. And here this set state redirect to the home page will be true. So here, if this state redirect to the home page is true-ish, then we do redirect to the home page. But we also need to check the auth, so the header will be refreshed. We have context here imported. This is class component, so we should have everything in this context. I will just console log it first. This context. Let's see what we get here. it's undefined. Let's check maybe here console log this context. Okay, we have it in our render. That's nice. So we probably have it here too. So let's use this context check off. Then we do this. And that should be it. Let's create another user. 123@gmail.com. Password will be 123. Yeah, we are logged in. Let's log out here. Alright, now let's try to log in. Let's add some error here if the password is wrong. We don't see any indication here, but we get an error response for free. So let's fix it. So we need to add an error box here. So I will create a new component. Let's call it errorbox.js, and this will be a function errorbox. It will return a div, and we need to export it as default errorbox, and we need style components to style it a little. So let's do error styled error box. Will be styled div, and here we can use a styled error box. We can just return it like this. And here let's add background color. RGBA. It will be red at 10%, and we want to add some border, 3 pixels, solid red. And let's try to use it. Login page. Under login, error box, error. Didn't work. Let's see why. We haven't imported. We need to add that to JS. It's not it. It's probably, let's see here. Objects are not valid as a React child. All right. Yeah, now it works. We'll also add some padding, 20 pixels from everywhere. And let's add some color white. Props. Now it works. Margin bottom will be 20 pixels. And border radius will be, I don't know, 10 pixels. 5. And let's make the border thinner. Alright. Let's go back to our home page. Login page, I mean. So, if there's an error, well, let's first set error state to false. And then in our login function, if something fails, we will catch it and we will set the state error to true. Then here we will check if we have the error, and if so, we'll show the error box with information login failed. But after we successfully login, we will also set the we will set the error to false. So let's clean this and let's try test at example.com blah 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 blah. Here, login failed. All right. All right, so this one works. The next thing I want to fix here is that I want to hit enter and login. So no button clicking, just enter. So I need to put everything inside a form, inputs and the button, and the blue button type will be submit. And I will remove this on click action from the button. It could stay here, but it doesn't need to be. And here on submit, we will run the login. So let's try this again. Test at example.com blah 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 something, and we can hit enter. But the page reloads, and the problem is that we need to put event here, and let's put event in our login action, login method, and we get event here, and inside our event we need to disable the default behavior. So this to do this we need to use prevent default. Now test at example.com blah blah blah, enter, login failed. Let's now try test, and we are logged in. So now let's see, we have this when we can log in, we can register, we can log out. Let's register a user. And some numbers here, maybe gmail.com or test and test. Yeah, we are registered and we are logged in. Log out. Let's see, register, and let's try to register again with an email that already exists in the database. Here, anything. We have an error 42, but we don't do anything with it. So in our register page here, if this thing fails, we want to catch the error, and we want to also add an error here. So here error will be false, and we want also to put everything here inside a form. So let's do like this, and let's put the form elements here. The header will be at the top, and let's get this thing. Let's remove on click from the button. The button will be type submit, and the form will have on submit functionality register. We need to pass the event here, and inside our register function we have now event, and here we will disable the default behavior, and it's called prevent default, like this. Now let's go back to displaying our error. So if something bad happens with this, with posting the information, then we will this set state error to true. Yeah, because this is a class type component. So here let's check. We need to now display the error box. So if this stayed error, if we have any error in our state, then we want to show the error box with some information. Registration failed. Please try again later. All right. We could actually use the response text from our API. So as you can see in the registered part, we send this user creation failed. So, but here we send email already exists in our database. Please try to log in. We want to display this thing. So in our register page, we have we catch a response, and let's console log it. The response. So here let's use my email because we know it's already taken. Register. All right. And Let's do Axios catch response code to see how we can get it. Catch error response status. Error response status. So here we have error response status. Let's check if this will work. Test at example.com, and here's something. Okay, logout. I created a new user. Test at example.com, and here some stuff, and we get 42. Let's check what more do we have here. Test at example.com, and some stuff here. So we have data. Email already exists. Please try to log in. And let's put this inside our error. This set state. No, we have this set state right here. So here we'll put error response data, and we'll reset also error here. Error false. And if there is something wrong, we'll show this error, this state, error. Test at example.com, and something here. Email already exists. Please try to log in. Login. Test at example.com. Test 1, 2, 3. No, it was only test here. Yeah, we are logged in. So now we can log in, register, and log out, and it works. Another thing I want to do is here in profile to show some more information about the user. So I will put everything in here, but here I will add the hello and the username. I mean the email. User email. Okay. It works. Now the next thing will be so we can ask questions and list the questions here. So let's do this. So ask question, we have this form here. Let's go to ask page and see how it looks like. So the first thing is that we need to put everything inside the form. And the blue button will be type submit. All right. And this one is screaming about using children in text area, so we should fix it. Value question body, and we will not use children. All right. Now let's see. We need to create a function that will send this to a new endpoint to save the question to the database. So first we need to create a new table for questions. The table will be questions. We could do questions and then answers and comments as a separate tables, but it contains almost the same information, the same columns, so we will use just one table for all of those three. Let's name it posts. Alright, so it will have, so question will be a post, answer to the question will be also a post, and a comment will also be a post. All of them will have auto increment primary ID, and then the next thing will be title, and it will be text. The next thing will be content, and it also will be a text. And we also need parent ID, and it will be ID. And the author ID, and it will be also an int. And I think we need no, that will be it. That will be it for now. Alright, let's execute it. And we have posts here. So the next thing will be to add a function here with Axios to send a post request to our API. So let's add a function called ask, or no, send the question. So here we'll do Axios post, and we'll do send it here. To /question, and now the data will be question title, and will be question title, and content question body. I name it this way to have it easier in the backend. Alright, we want to add with credentials. To true. And Axios is not yet imported. So import Axios from Axios. Yes. Alright, so after we send it, then response we will just console log the response. So in our API we have index and user routes, but we need now question routes. So new file question routes.js. So we need to import express from express again, and we need to define our routes as a constant, so it will be question routes is express router. Alright, and export default question routes, and in our index.js we need to import it and use it here. App use, so our app will use those routes. Question routes. Beautiful. So now in question routes, let's see. The first thing is that we will handle post to questions. Yeah, let's check it. Questions. So here we have request and response. And like this. Right, so let's get the title and the content from request body. After we get it, we need to put it in the database, and we need to use the database that we already use in user routes. So it would be nice to export this. I will create a new file called database db.js. And let's copy this here. Export default db. Alright, now in user routes, import db from db.js, like this. And in our question routes, db, yeah, it has been imported, but let's add the JS here, so it will be no problems. So now we want to put this information inside our table called posts. Insert. Let's see what information we want to put here. So we need to put title that we already have, content that we also have, parent ID that will be null, and author ID that we don't yet have. So to get author ID, we need to have an ID of currently logged in user. So to get the ID of currently logged in user, we need to add a functionality that will send the token to this request, and then we need to check the token. And that is a problem. So we send the token, but if we send the token back, we don't know what is the user. Let's go back to user routes. Here we just verify token, but there is no place we get the user information. See, after we log in, we just send the token, nothing more. So the first thing is that after logging in, we need to send the token, but we need to also save it in our database. So here in users, we need to modify this table and add a column called token, and it will be varchar 255 will be enough, and execute. Alright, so then db users where email is email, we can run update and send the token. Then and only then we will respond here with the cookie, and if it fails, we need to catch the error and say that something went wrong. Response and status 422. Done. So let's first try to log in again. Test at example.com. Test. Login failed. Let's see why. Right, I know why. Because in our index.js we need to add that JS here. Alright, so now if we log in, it works. And let's check in our table users. We get token on our test at example.com. So we know that in this user has this cookie. It ends with capital R and K. Yes. So the next thing will be is that we can get user using the token. So in our question routes, we can get the user ID based on the token that we sent with this request. So let's first get the token. request cookies. Yes. And let's just response send the token back just to see if it works. Let's clear this. I forgot to prevent the default ask page and type submit form on submit event. Is this no, it's not. So we can do just send the question event prevent default. Let's clean here. Failed. Why? Connection refused. Okay, it's not 8080, it's 3030. Post network. What is wrong now? Protocol error. Everything works here. Network error. Let's see here. Let's reload. Clear everything. Post question. Let's see what went wrong. Okay, it's not HTTPS. That's why. Alright. So, yeah, it sends the token back. So we have the token. Now we need to get the user ID. So to do this, we need to import database. And we need to select token from users where token is token, and then let's get first. Let's put it like this, then user. And if we have user, then we want to get the user ID. So we don't want to select token, but we want to select ID of the user. So if user and user ID, then we can do this part, but otherwise we need to send an error. So here we have send status to 1, and here response send status for free. Alright, but here we need to wait after we insert the data. So we'll put it here and catch error. Response send status 422. Alright, so now let's... Oh, hello, Dharam Paul. I haven't noticed the message. And... Right, so now we send the status to 1 if we can save it, but we need to put the user ID here, and this should work. Let's test it. Test. Post question, and we have to 1 created. That is awesome. That means that we have it in our posts table. But author ID is 0. Let's check why. Question routes. Okay, that's why. And let's remove this question here. And here we use the user ID. And parent ID will be null. And after we post the question, we want to do something else. We want to show this question. We don't have any view or component for this, so we need to create it. So new page that will be called question page.js. Function question page, and it will return just this empty thing for now. And let's export default question page, and in our app.js we need to add this thing. So route path. Here we'll have also a param, so it will be questions and the ID. Of the question. Let's just React router params just to double check. Here we have some examples. Topic ID. Yes. And the component will be question page. Yes, and now it works. Do we have any questions here? No, not yet. So to do this, let's add it first. Question. Yes, this. Oh, that is cool. This is my first question. Let's post question. Now it's posted, but we don't do anything with it. We have it here. So now let's go to our question page where we can display it. So we have it here. The ID is 2. So let's try to go there. Questions /2. It's empty. Yes, it should be. Questions page. So we got props here. Let's see what we got inside the props. So we have history, we have location, and we have match. And inside match we have params and ID. So we need to add a function to fetch the question. And like this. So we need to fetch the question. To do this we need Axios, and we will run get questions, but it's HTTP localhost 3030 questions, and then the ID of the question that we have here. Match. Plus, so we add the ID here. Match dot params dot ID. Math is not defined, it should be match. Okay, now same as we do in our app.js, we need to use effect so it will run when we open the page. So let's import use effect from React, and we can also add use state because we will also need state here. And so after we get the question information, we want to console log it. And we want to use effect to fetch question, and the second param is empty array. Don't forget about that, otherwise it will run all the time. So we have this. So as you can see, it runs this question /2, but we don't have it in our API. So let's go to question routes, and then let's add a new route, question routes get questions ID express params. Let's see how to do this. Params it's also colon and the name of the param, ID request params. All right, request response. So let's response send response JSON send request params. And now this one is nice, and it sends the ID back. All right, so now we will need the database imported, and we want to select everything from posts where ID is the ID. So let's initiate the ID, where ID is this is request params ID, like this, and here is the ID. And we also need only first row. So after we get the question, we can do stuff with it. So let's do response JSON question and just send it. And it's not here should be then, and here should we have first. And we also need a catch function. If something fails, we send response, send the status 42. That should work. Let's clear this, reload. And here we have the information about our title. Question. Alright, so let's display this question in our question page in client. We need to use the state, save the question that we fetched, and just display it. So let's see, what do we console log here? So we have data in the response, and it has all the information we need. So with the response, let's set the question information to the state. So we will use state. The default value will be just an empty object, and const question set question, and here we do set question to, or no, let's do default value to false. Set question response data, and here let's first get this container thing. I should probably put it as a separate component, but I'm lazy. Questions page. So here the first thing will be container, and then we need header 1. And if we have question, then let's do a question title. Yes, we have it here. The other thing is that we want to display the content, but the content will be markdown. So in the ask page, we are using a component, React Markdown and JFM. Let's just copy this one to the question page, and let's see how it's used. So we have preview area here, and let's put it underneath, and here it's like this. If we have question, so it's anything but not false, let's put everything here, and here will be question content. And if we don't have question, we don't do nothing. Okay, we have multiple elements, so we need to put it like this. This is my first question. Yeah. So this is the header and this is the body or the content of the question. All right, and so I will go to posts. Let's see if I can do set language to markdown. Yes, I will add a link directly to the database and link to Google and https google.com. And let's update, and let's see here, link to Google. Yeah, it works. So now we can leave questions. We can open a question, but I want to also display the list of the questions. So in our questions page, let's remove all those fake questions. And we have question row here. This is a functional component, so I will add a new function called fetch questions, and it will use Axios to get all the questions like this, and with credentials, of course. After it's done, then we have response with the data. So we need to use state, so we need to import use state from React, and use state. For default it will be empty array of questions. Const questions and set questions. Right, so when we have a response, we need to set questions to response data. That's all for now. And we want to also use effect. Use effect. So we will call the fetch questions with those, so it will be called only once. All right. And instead the top questions, we'll just put questions. And here we have question row. So we have questions. So if we have questions and there's something in the questions array, so the length is not 0, then we do questions map, and with a specific question we do question row. Okay, so this should be like this. Alright, so this one fails because this endpoint doesn't return questions. We need to add HTTP localhost 3030, and then we need to add the endpoint in our question routes. So let's go on to the bottom, question routes, get /questions, and then request response. I don't know why it has so many, but it doesn't matter. I can clean those, I guess. Alright, so after this, let's return the questions. So from the database, we need to select everything from posts. Where, so in our posts table, we want to return all the posts that the parent ID is null. So parent ID is null because if it has parent ID, then it's an answer or a comment. And then we have questions that we want to send back. Response JSON questions send. Otherwise we need to catch the error. Wait. Catch response send status 42, something wrong, like this. Alright, so let's see, what do we have now? Yeah, we have one question, but it doesn't use the information we sent back. So in questions page, we have this question row. Let's go here inside the question row. We should add prop types. So let's import prop types. Import prop type from React prop type no, it's a different package. React prop types. Let's add it. So let's close the database and let's go to client, yarn add prop types. Prop types. Import prop types from prop types, like this, but without those, because it returns only prop types. I don't know why it's okay, it's unused for now. And then we can do something like this, prop types. So the question row prop types is an object of stuff we can put inside, and this helps a lot. So let's do, we need for every, we need to Let's just do title for now. Title is prop types string is required. So in our questions page, here now we have this warning because it doesn't have the required attribute title. So we can add title, question, title. And then we can go back to this, and we have props here, and inside we have the title, but instead we can do like this, title, and here we put our title. First question. Let's add another second question. Yes, 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 yes. All right, that should work. Post question, and after we post question, I want to get to this question. So ask page, no console logging. Let's see what do we send as a result. Question routes. If we post a question, then we just send the status. We want to send a result data, JSON data, and I'm almost sure this will be the ID of the new question. So let's try this one. This is ask page now. So after we get the response, we need to redirect. So const redirect to the home page, set redirect to the home page is use state false as a default. And if we have this redirect to the home page is not false but it's true, then we want to redirect to the home page. So it's just slash. We have the response, and inside response data we have the ID. So let's do console log response data just in case, and then we don't want to redirect to the home page. Sorry, we want to redirect somewhere else. So the default value will be empty string. And then we want to set redirect to questions slash and response data. Okay, let's try this. Second question. Hello, Sayed Rafi. So with the second question, yes, but only one yes. And let's try post question. So we got to the home page. Alright, because we redirect to the home page. We have the ID here. But it's an array, so we get the first element. So it will be 3 here. And here we put redirect. So let's add a third question. Third question. Not the body should not be empty here. Right, so post question, and we are at third question. Yes, and here, yeah, first, second, third. Yes, it works. Now maybe we want to later we want to add links here. Let's do this now. Question row, question link. So the question link is a styled a component. We need to change it to link. Let's see. Yes, it has been imported correctly. So we have this question link here. It's used here, and it will go to questions slash and the ID of the question, but we don't have the ID yet. We need to add it. ID prop types in integer int number. Yes, number is required. And in our not ask page, but in our questions page, it shows that we missed ID attribute. So let's add it. Question ID. So if we go back to a question row, we can add the ID here because we get this passed as a property. And this, yeah, first question, second question, and the third question. Now I want to also sort the questions, so let's go to question routes in our API. So where we get the questions, let's sort it. Let's sort it by, we don't have the creation date or anything, but let's sort it by ID, desk, and let's see if it works. It does not. Let's see why. Okay, let's see how to do this. Sort by. Order by. This way. Yes. So now we have third question as the most top question. All right. Hello, Syed Rafi. So we have third question, second question, and first question here. The stuff we don't have yet is this David who posted the question. When it was posted, the view count, answers and votes. So we will do this in the next stream, and I was already streaming for 2.5 hours, so this will be enough for today. So in the next stream we will fix all this information in this row, so votes, answers, views, tags, then timing here and who asked, and we'll also fix the question page. So we'll have some votes here as StackOverflow has, and there will be also answers and comments, but that will be in the next stream. So for today, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to be notified about the next stream, and don't forget to leave a like, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.